Hi everybody, my name is Chad Hunter and I'm the author of Zack and the Zombie, No Bullies Please. And it's my great honor to be reading today as part of the East Chicago Public Library's summer reading program. So let's get right to it. So here's the book, Zack and the Zombie, No Bullies Please, written and illustrated by myself. If you'll notice, I got the zombie and Zack right behind me. I'm even sporting the zombie's t-shirt, which was designed by my son. I have to give him credit for that. Zack and the Zombie is dedicated to the bullied. The book is about bullying and people who suffer and have to endure bullying and cyberbullying. It's dedicated to the bullied and to those who protect them. Special thanks to Susan DeVries, who helped me edit the book, and to Jesse Rogers, who helped me design the cover. Welcome to the town of Romeroville, Indiana. It's a quiet place with quiet people. Not far from the quiet streets where dogs bark and children play, on the outskirts of town, there's a crooked castle with a crooked window and a cemetery for a yard. There we go, a spooky castle. In a crooked window of this crooked castle is a madman, a mad scientist known as Dr. Macabre. He stands in his window, yells and screams. Yes, 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 he shouts. Finally, I have a zombie army ready. And finally, I will have my revenge on Romeroville School. He turned and spoke to the crowd of his creations, monsters he had spent years creating. They stood gray in the shadows as their final training began. They stared and studied a symbol of their target. Dr. Macabre grinned at his creations and his plans. You all now know the symbol of my target. Finally, The mad scientist was suddenly surprised. Someone was missing. No, it cannot be, he shouts. His main zombie, the best and smartest of the zombies, was not where he was supposed to be. The mad scientist, Dr. Macabre, angry and looking all over the castle, is unaware that the zombie has escaped. The best of his creations waits outside the castle for the right moment to run. Where are you? Shouts Dr. Macabre. Where are you? And as quickly as the zombie was there, hiding in the cemetery, he was gone. The next day was like any other blue sky day in Romeroville. Romeroville School was full of the town's children as they went about attending their classes and learning. It was a good school, full of good students, except for a few. They were mean and cruel, and sometimes these students threatened other students. They were bullies. A new student was being bullied. He was from another school, from another city, from another country. Romeroville's super bully, Frankie Big, made it very hard for students who were very different from him. Today was no different. Frankie would call other students names or make fun of them. Most days, no one would stand up to the bully, except today was different. Leave him alone, Frankie, said Zack Graves. Zack was a good kid who treated everyone with respect and kindness. Graves liked everyone. The only people Zack did not like were bullies. What are you going to do about it, Graves? Growled Frankie Big. It's more like what I've already done, answered Zack with a smile. He was not going to try and fight Frankie. He had done something even smarter. I told the nearest teacher, and they are on their way over here now, Zack said. Frankie Big had been in enough trouble, and one more incident would get him kicked out of school. You win this time, Graves, the bully said, but there's always after school. Frankie Big let the new student alone. As Zack helped the student get to class, Graves thought about the bully's threat. As school ended, Zack Graves began walking home. He took a shortcut past the town playground, which was not far from the road leading to the spooky crooked castle. Zack heard footsteps behind him. He turned to see it was Frankie Big and the other bully from earlier. You shouldn't have helped that kid, Frankie said. I don't like bullies, replied Zack. He sounded brave, but he was scared. So who's going to help you, huh, Zack? Frankie Big and his fellow bullies surrounded Zack Graves. Just as Zack prepared for the worst, suddenly something popped up behind the mean boys. It growled. It was green, and by the look and the smell, it was a zombie. Ah, growled the zombie. Ah, yelled the bullies as they turned and ran. Yeah, screamed Zack, himself now terrified of the green monster in front of him. Stay back! But there was something about the creature. It had just saved him from the bullies, and there was something in its eyes. It was scared itself, and he knew it did not want to hurt him. The zombie had saved him from the bullies. Zack paused. Graves said, Thank you? You saved me from Frankie Big. My name is Zack. What's your name? The green monster groaned. Okay, Graves replied. I'll call you Z for short. The zombie nodded his head. Somehow he and the boy understood each other. The two became quick friends. They played, and the zombie's head fell off. Zack helped him put it back on. They jumped, and the zombie's head fell off. Zack helped him again. While they played, the zombie noticed something that made him very upset. What is it? Zack asked. What's wrong, Z? The green monster pointed at the back of Zack's backpack, and their Maryville school logo was making the bug-eyed hero upset. It was the same logo the scientists trained the zombies to attack. What's wrong with my school? Zack asked. The answer was going on at the very moment. Zack Graves looked towards his school, and he could see what Z was pointing towards. Zombies were attacking the school. Meanwhile, at the school, run, shouted Dr. McCarb as his army of green-skinned zombies chased the students and staff of Maryville Elementary. Feel fear like you should, the mad scientist shouted. Be scared like you should be. He continued saying mean things to the students who ran afraid. He called them names and was not nice at all. His zombies did as he commanded, and they were mean and terrible. Suddenly, the zombies stopped chasing and scaring people, and the mad scientist moved through his unmoving army to see what could have made them pause. What? Impossible, shouted the mad scientist. He saw Zack Graves and the zombies standing up to the army. He saw his missing zombie leader now standing up against him. Stop this, whoever you are, Zack shouted. You should be scared, boy, Dr. McCarb yelled. This is not your problem. Zack answered the mad scientist the same way he answered Frankie Big. I don't like bullies. Z groaned and agreed. Bullies? Bullies? Dr. McCarb said, stopping his army's attack. Did you call me a bully? You don't understand, boy. I was a student here when I was a boy. The doctor's eyes filled with tears. And I was made fun of. I was picked on. I was bullied. And I promised I would come back and scare people like I was scared when I was here. Zack's voice was calm. But now you're here, being a bully. The mad scientist lowered his head. Oh my, what have I done? The zombie army stood still while their creator thought about his actions. Thank you, my dear boy, for opening my eyes. I will change. I will take my army, my science, and do good. Come, my zombies, all of you. We have to make up for mistakes. As the rest of his fellow green-skinned zombies began to leave, Z did not want to go. Zack looked at his newfound friend, and Zack looked down at Zack. Z looked down at Zack. The not-so-mad scientist noticed the friendship between the two. Stay, my great zombie. Stay and keep this good little boy safe. Do good. The zombie army and their scientists left. Zack Graves looked up with a giant smile at his green friend. Z smiled, a crooked zombie smile. The end. So there you guys go. Hope you enjoyed the read. Zack and the Zombie, No Bullies Please is on Amazon in English and Spanish. And like they say in the book, do good and be good. And you guys take care. Thanks a lot.